Hey everybody, I thought I'd make a video to get some of the footage I had from a recent flight with one of my flying buddies, Roger. You see the clouds off in the distance, that's looking north. This road that I'm on is a north-south road, we're looking north. And it was a flight, it's one of those days, I think we made good weather choices, but then again, maybe we didn't, I don't know. Most of the flight was really nice. Let me apologize for that initial footage right up here at the beginning of the video before I talk about the weather more. Every once in a while, my 360 camera fails to record the data, the gyro and accelerometer data that it needs to stabilize the footage, and I end up with footage that's kind of jerky and tough to make nice and smooth. So once I get in the air, I'll flip the camera on and off. The rest of the footage will kind of be a little nicer. But you can kind of look off to my right. That's to the north. You see the clouds, a little bit darker clouds, and they were kind of a line of clouds. But to the south, we had pretty clear skies, and forecast for the wind speeds was good. Winds aloft looked good. And on the radar, what we saw, those clouds and everything seemed to be sliding off from west to east. So Roger and I decided, yeah, we're going to launch. We'll head south away from that stuff. And presumably by the time we got back, it would have slid off further east, and we wouldn't ever have to mess with it. So we had really nice flight, got down south, flew some of our normal places, out in some of the fields. I think this is probably one of the cornfields. Maybe that's cotton, I can't tell. But you can see off to the north, right? You see that line of clouds, a little bit more ominous. And but again, forecasts were good. Winds were out of the south when we launched, and we just had a great time flying. Here we're flying a pipeline route. Made a stop by our buddy James' house. He was, I think he's having a movie night with the family, if I remember right. And so he didn't get out and fly, but waves, fly by, do a wave at the family and his daughter. She always loves to watch us, from what I understand. After that, it was time to head home, and really the line of clouds hadn't really gone away. I don't think it had developed much more. Probably dissipated a little bit, but to get home, we had to fly back to that and under that. The air was great. Approaching it, we passed, and I was looking at that thinking, oh, I wonder if we're going to get into some rowdy air as we approach that. And we really didn't as we approached it and as we flew under it. It was when we flew out the backside that both of us, Roger and I, we went on a little bit of a rodeo ride. We got up, I think we were both 500-600 feet probably when we first started getting in the rough air. And I think I initially tried to go low, like almost ground level, to see if that could get out of it, and that didn't. It was pretty rowdy there, so we climbed back up high pretty quickly, 800,000 plus feet, I think, and had to check our wing a few times, surges. I don't think either of us took any collapses, but it got interesting. It was one of the spicier rides, but it only lasted for maybe 10 minutes. The wind direction, Roger pointed out to me, we knew it had changed when, instead of a south wind, our ground speed suddenly slowed down, and we had a north wind. And so we must have had some wind shear that we were dealing with. And anyway, after we got out of that, you can see the evening wound up really nice. Good weather, did a little bit more buzzing around closer to our launch site, landing zone. And overall, it was a good flight, but it's one of those things. It's like we launched, we knew we'd fly away from it, but we had that 10 minutes of getting through some pretty rough air that, for a paramotor pilot, probably wasn't rough for someone that's used to strong thermals or something. But anyway, that was my weather exploration flight here. I'm going to land, and we'll watch Roger do a little flyby after I get the wing on the ground. And there he is. I thought he was going to land here, but he decided he wasn't done. We got a little bit more time with the strobes on after sunset. Makes another pass, and then eventually got to bring it in. So everybody, hope you have a good one. Lesson here is pay attention to that weather. I'm not sure I made the right or the wrong choices. Probably in a gray area here, but 95% of the flight was great, but that 5% was pretty sketchy. Once again, thanks for watching, everybody. Hey, if you got some comments or feedback for me on the weather and what I should have been thinking, I appreciate it. Take care, everyone.